So the markets opened a few minutes ago. The Dow down about 100 points. Extra attention this morning on Twitter after its shares plunged 8% in pre-market trading. The drop comes after we learned that Tesla CEO Elon Musk is off Twitter's board. After all, he's on, he's off, he's on, he's off. It's getting exhausting, despite the fact that he's now the company's largest shareholder. To answer this question and so many more about your backswing, about male pattern baldness, about the meaning of life, let's bring in right now columnist and editor for the New York Times, Deal Book, and co-author of Squawk Box on CNBC, Andrew Ross Sorkin. So, Andrew, give us the backstory to this. So many people excited he was going to be on the board. This weekend, we find out he's off. Why?
As the world turns, it is a soap opera with Elon Musk, as it always is. What you had here was a situation where I think all of a sudden he realized, and why he realized this so late in the game is sort of surprising, that if you're going to be a board member, you can't take to Twitter and start either talking about what's going on the board or what should happen to the company. He literally over the weekend was saying, is Twitter dying, ? At one point he asked, did a poll about whether Twitter should actually remove the W in the name Twitter. You can use your imagination about what that would, what that portends. So I think there were some lawyers and others who might have called him and said,
uncomfortable with
I
that?
know that you are pursuing a sort of free speech approach, and that's what he wants on Twitter, but we may not want you to pursue the free speech approach. In fact, he liked a tweet that said something about that this morning, which sort of was a signal about maybe what this was really all about. However, the stock's down today. Some people think he's going to sell his shares and just take his ball and go home. Others think he might actually make a hostile bid for this company to try to take over the whole thing and do it himself.
Is this guy?
Maybe he will,
okay?
but wait. Yeah, we don't know. But Kara Swisher told us on Friday, Elon doesn't care. Elon doesn't care. His lawyers don't care. You know what? I think actually somebody does care. And when he's going on, it's not the smartest move for him to do it. So we find out that actually somebody inside his world actually does care about Elon Musk and his future. Let me ask you about JetBlue and flying in general. Friday, okay, and maybe you can give us more insight on this. So Friday, my son was going to fly from Florida up to New York because we were in New York last week. 3 flights got canceled. It was an absolute madhouse. I was rushing to LaGuardia to try to get home in time for my birthday. And I was told, get on the 12 o'clock flight or you won't get on a flight all weekend. I heard nightmare stories over the past 3-4 days. And Meek and I were talking about this yesterday. It seems like the demand is so outpacing the supply for seats that we're in some sort of strange, almost post-COVID crush back to the airlines. Tell us what's going on, and particularly with JetBlue.
Well, JetBlue, and by the way, what you're seeing is happening everywhere. I had the same problem, by the way, on Friday. I had a flight that was canceled, had to do a lot of maneuvering to even get on a plane. But what's happening with JetBlue specifically is they said they're actually going to cut capacity over the summer. And they're not increasing capacity, they're going to cut capacity. Now, they're saying they're doing that in part to prevent more people being disappointed where they have to cancel the flight at the last second, which is what you're seeing happening now. But I think it raises a larger question about 2 things. One is we, all of us at this table, and the taxpayers across this country watching this broadcast, specifically, we bailed out the airlines during COVID. And one of the things was they said, we're a special industry. We need special protections because we need to help the economy. We want to be up and running when demand comes back to help move things through. And here we are, and the opposite is happening. Now, you could argue we kept them in business. They would have gone bankrupt otherwise. But as a result, I think there's going to be a larger question in Washington about those bailouts, what was happening there. And this creates an even bigger question about the takeover battles that are happening and consolidation in this space. You have JetBlue now making a bid for Spirit Airlines. I think when you see these types of cancellations, especially on the back of all of the bailouts happening, you're going to see politicians say, you know what? We got a problem here.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right at all. What, though, is causing all this chaos? I mean, is it supply chain?
It's 2 things. It's demand. It's everybody. It's YOLO. Everybody wants to be back traveling, going on vacations, doing all of this stuff. You only live once. And the second piece is there have been a lot of people, pilots, flight attendants, and we've seen this across all forms of labor, who've said, you know what? I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. And so it's very hard, and this is where I'll be generous and sympathize with the airlines, to scale up quickly, meaning to find new people to fill those spots. These are jobs that actually require lots of training, so it's not like you can just pluck people off the street and put them in that role. And so I think we're going to, and I actually got an email from a pilot this morning who said this is going to be years before the airlines really are able to have all of the people properly trained in position.
Yeah, I heard a lot of we're waiting on crew, we're waiting. CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin with the YOLO explanation. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.